everyone, welcome to You Cook. My name is Courtney, and today we're going to make some appealing foods that are going to make you forget about this dreary fall weather. Our first recipe is going to be apple pies and apples. And this is a super cute, super easy recipe with only 3 ingredients. So we've got Honeycrisp and we've got Gala apples, and what you want to do is make sure that they are small enough to fit in a muffin tin because you're going to be baking them in a muffin. And the first thing you want to do is make sure you have all of your ingredients as well. And so we have some pie filling, we have some crust, which is raw dough, and we have the apples. You'll want to begin by washing all of your apples, and then you'll want to cut the tops off. And so you want it to be as even as you can get it. If it's not completely even, that's fine. You just don't want it to be too slanted, otherwise you won't be able to get the pie filling in. And then just cut a little circle on the top. This might work better with a spoon. And you want enough room on all sides to have enough filling inside the apple, as well as making sure that it's not too thin, otherwise the integrity of the apple will not last. You also want to make sure it still looks round when you're done with it. That's probably as much apple guts as we need to slaughter for that. And so it would look like that. Okay, so after you've cored out all of your apples, you'll just want to set those aside for a hot second. And make sure you preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And now we are ready to get the dough ready. An easy way to do the dough is to get the pre-made phyllo dough or a similar pie crust, just the regular rollout. But either way, you'll want to make sure you cut the strips into 1/4 inch. Or just whatever you think looks pretty. My favorite thing to do in the fall, I love farmers markets, so I love getting all that fresh food. And I really like all the hayride places. Those are fun. When I was little, we used to go to one that was right near our house, and that was fun. To go on the miniature ponies and get hot cider and donuts, all that jazz. All right, you just want it to be big enough to cover the apples, but thin enough that it cooks evenly. All right, so now we're gonna grab our apples, as long as the oven's ready, and I think it is. And then you'll want to take your apple filling and just put it in the apples. I used to have my favorite apple be green apples, because I liked bitter things when I was little. I used to eat raw lemons when I was a baby. And if YouTube was a thing, I would have been a hit sensation, but it's okay. I'm not bitter about it. And this is why you want your apples to be pretty deep, because if they're not, you won't get enough filling in, and that kind of defeats the purpose. And it should settle down a little bit as well, so if you want to just pack it in there a little more, it's not going to hurt anybody. Now the recipe calls for you to weave these before you put them on the apples, but either way, you'll just want to make sure that they're in a woven pattern on top of the apple. I always wish that I can do all of those intricate designs that they do, like all the flowers and things. I never can, because I'm not talented. But at least it'll taste good. And then you'll want to cut off the excess, or so they say. But really that's up to you. Depends on if you're a crust person or not. Or how good your crust is, I suppose. Alright, so then once you've got the crust all on there, if you want to sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on top, but that's up to you. Don't do too much, because cinnamon is very powerful. Don't do that much. could also do nutmeg, cloves, anything you're into. All right, now you're gonna pop this guy in the oven for 15 minutes. And now we wait. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes, a little over 20 minutes, because our oven's a little slow. And so now we want to just turn that off, and they should be all ready. So as you can see, there was a little bit of leakage here, and that's just bound to happen. It was probably due to me being a little too violent when I was cutting or coring them, so you'll just want to make sure you're a little bit more patient than I am. But you'll just want to let these cool just a touch, and then you should be ready to serve. If you're having a party, maybe Thanksgiving or a Friendsgiving, if you're stuck in college, these would be a cute little dessert to do, and everyone could have their own little personal apple pie. So next we're going to make some easy applesauce. And what you're going to want is cored, chopped, and peeled apples for the applesauce. And now I'm going to show you what you could do for that. If you have bigger apples, it'll probably be easier for you to use a peeler, but since these apples are a little bit smaller, I just feel like it's more efficient to use a knife. But do whatever method is going to be easiest for you to do and most likely to not cut yourself with. And now we are going to move on, and once you've gotten them all chopped up and ready, you can start adding in the other ingredients. So first we're going to do 3/4 cup of water. And we're going to do a 1/2 cup of sugar. Diabetes. And 1/2 tablespoon of cinnamon. Don't feel safe. Doesn't fit in there. Extra cinnamon for extra spicy. All right. And then you'll just want to get this to your pot. So you've turned it on to medium-high heat, and then you'll just want to give it a stir. And you'll want to cover them up. And just let that sit for 15-ish minutes, giving it the occasional stir. They'll be ready when they're soft and easy to squish. Okay, now once all of your apples have become very soft, and that smells delicious, by the way, you'll want to mash them up. Don't be too aggressive, but aggressive enough to make it all mashed. So what kind of vest do you wear in the fall? A harvest. Why do leaves fall off of trees in the fall? Because they don't believe in themselves. So after you've got it all mashed up, it should have a consistency, something like that. And it will get a little bit more together, less soupy, after it cools off a little bit. And so you can just go ahead, get that in the bowl. And there you go. It's one of those things that you could leave in the fridge for a little while and it would last for a while, so it's a good thing to have as a snack, or if you're trying to study. Yeah, it could warm you up or cool you off. It's a versatile dessert. All right, so now we're going to make some caramel apples, and first I'm going to show you how to make the caramel. So what you're going to need for this is sugar, corn syrup, water, butter, whipping cream, and sour cream, and a little bit of sea salt. So first you're going to take 1 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup, and a 1/4 cup of water, and put that all together in a saucepan. All sorts of healthy things in this. It all together. And you'll want to let that go for about 10 minutes until it starts getting brown and caramelized at medium-high heat. All right, and so once your sugar has turned brown, a dark brown, you'll want to add the rest of the ingredients. So that's going to be a 1/4 cup of butter, which we've already got here. Angry. And go ahead and turn down the stove just a little bit. And then you'll want a 1/4 cup of whipping cream. And a tablespoon of sour cream. And 3/4 teaspoon of coarse sea salt. And you'll just want to remove that from the heat after you've added everything, give it a little stir. If you live in a dorm without a stove, or if you're afraid to use a stove because you don't want to burn the place down, then you can go look at our microwave desserts episode where we make caramel in a cup in the microwave. This is slightly frightening. It's a little darker than what it should be. It doesn't taste bad though. Alright, and so now we're going to prepare our apple slices. And this is really just a preference of how big you'd like it to be. Now, if you were having a party and you had a small melon scoop, you could make them into little balls and then stick sticks in them. Or you could just set out apple slices, whatever you prefer. Okay, so now we'll take our apples. Okay. It's just so bad. And so now we'll take our apples and we'll cover them in the caramel. And you'll probably want to wait until it cools down a little bit so it sticks better. Yes. It's not working because I'm a failure. I'll take all the blame. We've burnt it. There's too much liquid and I'm not sure why, but we can't cook it anymore because if we cook it more, it's just gonna be more burnt. It should taste fine. Like, it doesn't taste horrible. It's just like a slight barbecue aftertaste. And there you go. Drippy caramel apples. Mm. So I'm so sorry for that stupendous failure that we had. But that caramel just rattled me to my core. My core. Get it? Like an apple core. So we're gonna end this episode right now, and we're gonna share some desserts with the crew. What was the other one?
Belief in
Yes. Who believes in itself?
a tree.
A tree, yes. Aw, we'll make it sadder. Why do trees fall? Why do trees fall? Because no one can hear them. That's not a joke. It's just me being horrible. Okay,